Welcome to Eagle's Nest Outdoors. JB here. Last month I talked about canine bug out bags, and I mentioned that in some ways what you put in them is similar to what you might put in a child's bug out bag. So I figured I'd elaborate on that topic this month, even though there are plenty of other articles out there that you can read about this. I think that the most important thing to keep in mind when you build bug out bags for your kids is that the bag needs to evolve just as much as they do. You're not going to do this once, like you might for yourself, and be done with it. As they get older, everything from what's in the bag to the bag itself should change. In some ways, this is the hardest part. You don't want to skimp out and have equipment that'll fail on you when you need it, but at the same time, you don't want to spend a lot of money on gear that's going to get outgrown. Well, at least unless you're a family that does a lot of hiking and camping and you're going to get your money's worth from it anyway. So, first and foremost, you got to keep in mind how heavy the bag is going to be. Usually, you would calculate your ideal pack weight as 20% of the wearer's body weight. Depending on their age, you might want to make it even lighter. When they're young, a school knapsack will likely be sufficient. As they get older, hiking packs become more appropriately. As to what goes in it, well, like I mentioned for the canine pack, some comfort items go a long way. Make sure you grab that favorite stuffed animal on your way out the door, or include a couple of small toys or a deck of cards in the bag. Obviously, those toys should be age appropriate. A coloring book and some crayons are good for the young members of your party, while a couple spare batteries for an MP3 player might be sufficient for the older ones. Cards are great for all ages, and there are a number of decks on the market that also double as identification keys for plants or animal tracks, or guides for learning how to tie knots or other survival references. In the vein of keeping the pack light, start by letting them carry a lot of their own clothes. This will be a lot of the same stuff you've packed for yourself. Warm socks, rain gear, a hat and gloves, etc. Of course, an extra sweatshirt because the kids always seem to get colder earlier in the evening than I do. But remember to replace this stuff with the next sizes as your kids grow up. Beyond that, start with things that are essential. A toothbrush and other hygiene items. A flashlight. Mess gear. And add from there depending on what is age appropriate. A first aid kit is always a great thing to have, but make sure that it's appropriate for the individual that may be rummaging around in it. Because if you put it in their pack, they will open it and go looking through it. Unless they're older and have had some training, things like a CPR mask or a tourniquet just aren't necessary. This goes for other items and tools as well. While a compass is a great tool, it's useless unless you've taught them how to use it. Same goes for a knife. I had my first Swiss Army knife when I was 5, and I was taught how to use it and how to respect it. I've done the same with my kids, but I wouldn't recommend giving a knife to a child unless they know how to use it properly. Therefore, this is going to be another moving target. As they get older, and perhaps their bag gets a bit bigger, the things you put in it will start looking more and more like what you've put in your own bag. All of that said, there are a few things you might include in your child's bag that you wouldn't need in yours. A laminated sheet with your cell phone number or other contact information on it would be invaluable if, for some reason, you and your child were separated. Also, I keep a whole bunch of these glow bracelets in everyone's pack. They're cheap and they can be used for attaching to a backpack or even just around a wrist so you can keep track of your kids when it starts getting dark. As usual, I hope I've given you some things to think about. And until next time, stay safe and have fun.